But I don't want no tea. It gives me a headache.
Oh, what shall we have then?
Coffee.
Hello everyone. Well, I'm making a short little video hopefully to show you something I'm working on. When I did this turret, I had to rescribe these lines because the it was non-existent, and there is armor up here, but I had to rescribe this. I showed it to you in that one video. So now what I've got to do, because of the large gaps, I don't know if you can see it or not in here. Oops, there's some large gaps and stuff for, let's see, where was it? I know it is. Okay, you can see all the putty. Oh, hold on. You can see inside there, see all the putty I had to do. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the camera, not you. The putty I had to put in there is backing and to fill the large holes in here and everything. Because of that, I couldn't just use Model Master putty and a brush and stipple the cast look back on the turret, so I had to use putty. And so I've used it so far. What I do is I mix the cement with some putty on this board here, and then I stir it up, and this gives it liquefies it more, gives it more time to work as you're stippling on this. So basically, if you look at this, see how rough that doesn't look like cast. It looks horrible, but as I will show you, you just take a green scrubby pad and just start sanding it. Well, you know, this is pretty worn, and I like that. So I just hit it really good. And what it does for me, I usually like to use green squadron putty, but I don't have any right now, so the red putty is working fine for me. So you just keep hitting this until you get a smoother, cleaner look for cast iron. You know, you can also use sandpaper if you like, and as you can see, it's getting better and better, and it's looking more and more less rough. It's smoother, but it still has that cast look to it. So I'll work on this some more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm going to mask off, I'll be back in a little bit, I'm going to mask off this area here. Let me show you real quick. This area here, I gotta kind of mask this off a little bit, and I'll mask this off here, and I'm gonna stipple. I gotta mask this off this side too, this little run here, and I gotta stipple all this area here to make it look like cast. So I'll be back, and I'll show you after I mask it off. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I've got this masked off, and so I'm ready to start stippling. You're going to take one of these cheap brushes. You can use a paintbrush, but once you use it, there's no curing it. So, you know, if you have an old one, you can do that. Or if you want, if you can do a large area like this, just take, these are just cheap brushes you get from Harbor Freight. You know, you get, I don't know, 50 for a few bucks. You know, it just gives it a big bag. Get them at Harbor Freight. They're dirt cheap. We used to call them flux brushes when I was a plumber. What you're going to do is just going to cut them off short, depending on how much stippling you want to do. And I'll cut it off here. There we go. Now that, let me put this aside because I do want to get all over my disc. That makes it super stiff, so when you stipple this on, it'll act really well for making the cast look. Alright, so first thing you do, get your Model Master glue, your putty. Now, like I said, I've told you before, I like green putty, but I'm going to use this red stuff. It seems to be working fine. Green squadron putty, you know, works great. Alright, so first thing you do, squeeze a little bit out. Don't need much. Gonna take your Model Master liquid glue and start dribbling it all over it. Keep going, come on. And you're gonna, what you're doing basically is you're creating a really good liquid puddle. It gives it time to adapt to what you're doing. If you put just straight putty on there, it would just harden within seconds. So this retards the drying, and it makes it smoother, softer. Now, this is very toxic. I have ventilated in my room and a lot of stuff like that, so I would recommend if you're going to do this, don't do this around children or anything like that. It does stink really bad. Not only is the putty bad, but the Model Master glue is bad. Now, as you can see, it's created a little puddle right here, okay? That's great. This is what I want. It's really liquefied. So here we go. Normally a Model Master glue will do it, but now I'm not worried about up here. I'm just, this is where my cloth canvas mantlet's going up, so I don't have to worry about that. So take your brush, dip it in here, get some on there, and just start going like this. Now I want to try and do this so that, to show you. Just keep moving, rotating. You know, just keep doing it. Don't want to put too much on, but you want to put enough to create that and make it look cast. You know, it looks rough cast, like I said. And you know, hey, the Russians really did have rough cast. They weren't the most quality. Let me get a little closer for you. As you can see, let me put more light on the subject too. I don't want to get too close. As you can see, I've created this little cast look. Now I want to go back. See, it's kind of dried now. Let's get a little bit more back here. Just put it on the brush as much as you want. You know, I would take a little bit at a time. Now, as you can see, I'm hitting right here. Try not to go over that tape. Just keep moving, rotating, and you will do fine. Now, later on, I want to try and get in to the small crack in here, and that's going to be really tough. What I'll probably end up doing is cutting another brush down to where it's just a few little strands I can get in there without getting too much stuff all over it. But as you start seeing this dry, it'll get stiffer and stiffer. It won't look as glossy. And, oops, see how it looks? Gives it that cast. It's really rough. You can keep hitting it as long as you want, but there comes a point where if it starts pulling up sticky parts, leave it alone. Okay, now let's go over here. Already this stuff is drying over here. Already it's that fast. So let's go over here. Stay within the tape. Don't go over, because then you're gonna get on a part you don't want to. And you can sand it. You know, if it later on, if it does hit an area you don't want it to, you can always sand that later on and smooth it right back out again. And as you can see, I'm getting the cast look more and more. I'm gonna hit it a little bit more here. Sorry, I'm not looking at the video monitor right now. I'm trying to concentrate on getting this done. I need a little bit more here by the top of the tape. Oop, a little too much. Spread it out if you have to. You know, get it in all the cracks you want where the tape is. Make sure you do it. You don't want too much in there. Now remember, you don't want to lose the detail. As you can see, this ridge right here I'm working on, you don't want to lose that detail. You just want it so it gives it that cast look. And as you can see, that looks really, really rough. But as I said, later on, oh look at this, is already getting thick that quick. Later on, you can always touch it up. I'm just trying to get this done. Sorry, I'm not concentrating as much as I used to. I'm just trying to get this finished so it doesn't dry on me and doesn't screw up anything. But like I said, it just takes patience, time, but it's really not that difficult. You know, it gives you that cast look, what you want. Then you sand it down once it dries. I always give it 24 hours to dry. That way I don't have to worry about, you know, when I'm sanding anything still. And they say it dries within 20 minutes, but then you got the glue in there, and the glue takes longer. So I always wait, and a full 24 hours before I sand it. But you can peel the tape off if you want. When I get done with this, I'll pull the tape off. It's no big deal. But there you go. That's how to do. That's how to do the cast look on a turret that you've played with. I don't want to make a new batch before I do any more. I've got to get in these little cracks up here, so I'll use a smaller brush and a fresh batch. Anyway, that's how you do cast. And like I said, the reason I had to do it this way, normally I would just use Model Master glue and a brush. If I didn't have to fill in anything, if I just put the two halves together, 10x7 was fine, it looks good, then all you have to do is just use Model Master glue, stipple that, and it starts pulling just like this, but it reacts a little bit different, but it does make a cast look. Like I said, if you don't like the thickness of the cast or you don't like the look of it, just keep sanding with a green scrubby pad or a very smooth sandpaper, like maybe 800 grit or maybe even 1,000 if you want to, 600 probably. Just keep going over this. Don't worry about that. Just keep going this. You'll be taking stuff off, but you're also smoothing it out, and that's what allows it to look like the proper cast. So I've been doing this, like I said, mainly with Green Squadron putty, but now I'm using this red stuff, and it seems to work fine. If you get down to the bare stuff, so what? That's what cast looks like. Cast is smooth in some areas, rough in other areas. Anything like that, you can do. And it's just a technique that I've learned over the years. I'm pretty sure my friend Scotty taught me this years and years ago. So I hope it helps you all. If you ever need to recast a turret, it especially works really good for World War II stuff, because even the cast back in those days was rougher, especially on Russian stuff. But even on American Shermans, I've done it for years on those. And modern day stuff isn't as rough, but you sand more off, and it really looks nice. I've seen guys use a Dremel tool and just bounce it on there, and you can do that method too. But when you have those big areas that I had to fill in with white Aves putty, you can't do that. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll come back with more videos soon.